Java methods, like methods or functions in many programming languages, can take a variable number of arguments. So think of printf. How many arguments does printf take? Well, it takes at least one, which is the string, but then it can take more. As many placeholders as you have inside the string, that's the number of additional arguments it has. Well, we already saw that you can overload methods in Java. So you could define a method called printf that takes one argument, a method called printf that takes two arguments, a method called printf that takes three arguments, another one that takes four arguments, but imagine how many you'd have to define. Well, and is there an upper limit? What if you supply 100 arguments? So printf was not overloaded. Instead, printf was defined to use var_args, to take a variable number of arguments. The way that you define var_args is you use a ... That's the actual real Java syntax, between the type and the variable. And this can only apply to the last argument. When you do this, the calling code can pass in either an array or individual arguments, but it gets accumulated into an array automatically. So let's look at the definition of printf. In the actual definition of printf, it says object ... arguments. ... That's the real Java syntax. That's not just an abbreviation here. So that means that the calling code passes in individual arguments, but it's accumulated into the array called, in this case, arguments. So the type of that variable is an object array. If I say that I have a method called max, and it takes int ... numbers, then the type of numbers is int array. But the calling code can pass in separate individual ints, or it can pass in an int array. This is not used pervasively. So the things early in this lecture, especially lists, maps, and generic types, you're going to use those all over the place in your life as a Java programmer. var_args, I use them once in a while, but I don't use them all that often. Most of the time, you know how many arguments are possible. So don't use this, willy-nilly, but it's, moderately useful. So you should definitely know about it. Okay, so here's a quick example. I say I want to make a method that, given any number of whole numbers, returns the smallest one. So I say int ... That's the actual real syntax, numbers. So the type of numbers is int array. But when I call the method, I can pass in the ints separately, or I can pass in an array. That's all there is to it.